Now, Commanders family, we plan to start the show with a Command Center season preview special. However, we have some breaking news. That's right. It's being reported that the Washington Commanders are signing Pro Bowler Von Miller. Now, the deal is still being worked out, but Von broke the news himself on IG last night, and the fan base went crazy. And that's because Miller is a former second overall pick by the Denver Broncos. He played 10 seasons with the Broncos. Then he was traded to LA and spent a minute with the Rams before going to Buffalo for the last 3 seasons. And I gotta mention, he is also a Super Bowl champion, so bringing that Super Bowl experience here to the Burgundy and Gold. Now, speaking of Super Bowl experience, let's holler at future Hall of Famer Brian Mitchell and see what he feels about bringing Von Miller into the fold.
If and when Von Miller lands in D.C., this is what it means for the defense. You're going to get a legitimate Hall of Fame pass rusher. Yes, he's not a young guy like he was before, but as Gary Clark stated on the show the other day, as you get older, you get better. You don't have to be the same fast guy when you're an older person. That experience is going to take you a long way. And a lot of young guys get a chance to watch a professional, a Hall of Famer at work. He's going to be great for them. That year with him is going to be something that's priceless for all these young guys. And I also feel this. Everyone was crazy about Dante Fowler's game last year, but I think Von Miller, when he's on the field, he's going to be able to get you sacks. He is a legitimate pass rusher, a guy who understands leverage and all that. Von Miller, in 12, 13 games, 6 sacks. The year before, 11 games, he had 8 sacks. I think if Von Miller, and we know Dan Quinn takes care of his players, keep him healthy, have him on the field 25, 30% of the time, I can see Von Miller with a double-digit sacks year. It's going to be great. Commanders, you got your good one there. Just like Bobby Wagner, he's going to be a great leader for this football team.
Shout out to future Hall of Famer Brian Mitchell. He's excited, and I know the rest of our Commanders family is excited as well for Von Miller, because you're looking at these stats right here. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, an 8-time Pro Bowl selection, and look at those sack numbers right there. Over 129 sacks for the future Hall of Famer. Now, Commanders family, this was breaking news, so I do not have the guys in the building. So we're going to continue with our normal Command Center season preview special. However, next week, we're going to be talking all about Von Miller on our live training camp special. That's next Wednesday. Let's get back to the show.
This offseason, the guy got in the weight room.
No. His body looks different, right?
Frank's trying to sabotage me, man. People invite me out for drinks. I'm like, no, sir, I'm going to bed.
You can't single me. That's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
That was
I thought you were going to say I gave it to you.
It is almost that time, Commanders family. That's right. Commanders training camp kicks off in just a week, and our guys share who they think will take a big leap this season. Plus, we are talking defense with future Hall of Famer London Fletcher and Fred's best friend, Sean Springs. And we have the pleasure of ending the show with a legendary member of the Posse. That's right. One of the best to ever do it, Gary Clark, is joining us right here on the show. All that and more starts right now on Command Center. Commanders family, welcome into the Command Center season preview special. I'm here with the best guys in the world, Mr. 8-9, Santana Moss, the mouth of the South, Fred Smoot, and the legend Logan Paulson. I'm your host, Brian Cobra Jr. And fellas, it's crazy to think. We are just a week away from training camp. Tanner, what are you most looking forward to from this training camp? Last year was a lot of fun.
No, I'm laughing because as a player, I know I'll be like,
it's the time ticket, right?
Now you get to be excited.
Let's get this last trip in.
But being in the shoes I'm in now, I'm excited. It's football. It's boring on TV right now.
Yeah.
So just knowing that football is near, these guys are going to be practicing, and I get a chance to watch, and I get a chance to sit and patiently wait for these guys to line up and be suited up, and I can watch them on TV. That's what I'm most excited about.
Man, just having the fan base back, excited about what happened last year, trying to pick up where we left off last year, and just this group, to see them grow and mature. That's what I really want to do. Like, this is the second year of Coach Quinn. You know, the first year caught us by storm. What's going to happen in the second year? And I think all the fans are feeling that anticipation. All the fans are. The bar has been raised so high right now. And to see these guys get back out there, I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, obviously football's back. Yeah, and that's obviously the most important thing, right? Because like Tana's saying, like, there's nothing on TV. What are we watching? We're talking about basketball, baseball. Yeah. I want to watch football. I'm a football guy, I want to watch football. And then I think all the questions that we've talked about this entire offseason, offensive line coming together, Jayden Daniels year 2, all that stuff. Yeah. And now we get the first little taste of those answers. And again, you're not going to get the real answers till football actually starts in the season, but training camp is kind of the prelude to that.
And just to see these free agents that we got, and see the draft picks, and see this new team, like, that's the one thing we can say as ex-players is every year is a new team. Yeah. Like, regardless of how many players that you keep, and how good you were, it just don't matter. Like, every year is a new team with new expectations, so I can't wait to see that.
Just like Logan said, football is back. That's right. Training camp is just around the corner. Commanders veterans report for camp next Tuesday with the first practice kicking off on Wednesday. Head coach Dan Quinn is entering his second season in Washington after an NFC Championship appearance in just year 1. Quinn had this to say on the pieces coming together in year 2.
Yeah, it was definitely at times a little messy, before. And so trying to figure out the unique things that the player has and how would we feature them in the program and how would we use them. And so that takes some process to go through. What I've loved about seeing the team now is just this connection that they have together. And so that's a really big deal for us. And I love that the, guys who've been in the program for 1 year are helping the ones that are entering into it. So, yeah, it's clearer because of the vision of what we think certain players can do. And now our job as coaches is to try to put them into those spaces where they can really excel, try to find the right scheme for that. How do we train them, for that specific skill or set? And so if we can do that really, really well, then I think then when you're called upon to do that specific thing, you should really nail that.
That was our fearless leader, head coach Dan Quinn, who is gearing up for year 2. Should be a special one. Now, it's time for Securing the W, presented by Hercules Fits. Security in every job. Fellas, training camp is approaching. Everybody's excited because year 1 was so spectacular. But Logan, you have a lot to say about year 2 because just because things were able to work out in year 1, year 2 is even more important for these guys.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, year 2 because it's the year that's happening right now, right? And being present is the most important thing. And what I'd say is that, like, year 2 is such a fun year because you've already established some of the foundational principles, right?
The base.
Who's our identity? What's our culture going to be? What are we good at offensively? What are we good at defensively? What do we want to tweak? And now we've got enough guys that have kind of been indoctrinated into the program to say, hey, rookies, this is the way we're going. UDFAs, this is the way we're going. Free agents, this is the way we're going. And I think that's extremely important kind of as that foundational element in that first year to help build on and hopefully have a fantastic year 2.
And when you look at that sophomore season, Tana, I want to go to you because your sophomore season was huge for you. You dealt with injuries your freshman year, your rookie year, and your sophomore year, you came out and really made a name for yourself. Now we look behind us. Some of these defensive players are looking to make a name for themselves as well. Tana, I'm going to start with you. Who are some guys you are looking to see make a big jump in year 2?
I think 2 guys that stands out, at least in my head, is Johnny Newton and Jordan McGee. You look at a guy like Newton, he did what he did last year was we saw a lot of flashes from him, and he didn't have an offseason.
He was injured also, Tim.
Two hurt feet, and he dealt with that and still went out there and was very productive as a rookie. So you look at a guy now with a full offseason, a full time to go out there and train and kind of add to what he did last year. I look at him being one of those guys that's going to be like a 3-down defensive lineman. He can really be effective
he can make it happen.
in the run and pass game. And then you talk about a guy, Jordan McGee. You guys know the
man. Like it, right?
I mean, he just looked like a guy that means business, and he wants to play football. Being behind a guy like Wagner, having a guy like Fowler leave, that opens up doors. That opens up a lot of opportunity for him. So I'm looking forward to a guy like that to take everything that he was taught last year to also see some of the things that he wasn't able to do because of that injury and be ready and primed to go out there and dominate.
Everything slows down for him. That's what you want in this second year.
And Tanner, you've been in that McGee role where you know what having to watch from the sideline does for that hunger. Now, Fred, we got a couple guys in that secondary that you're looking to make a big jump.
First of all, I want to say Dominique Hampton, which a lot of people don't know who he is. Now, this is what he brings to the table. He can play free safety.
Fred, is he play linebacker? Or is
he go to question. He can play free safety. He can play strong safety. He can play big nickel. He can play linebacker. He can do a little bit of everything. They have to find a niche for him. And I think this is going to be the year that they find a niche for him to get him on the field. Also, Mikey Sarah still. And I know y'all like Mikey Sarah is taking a step forward. Yes, if he take a step forward, he becomes a Pro Bowler. That's how good good this kid can be. And now here go the thing that gives him a chance to be that Pro Bowler, Logan. All right, when you get Trey Amos, now you can push him to the inside and let him play
I
nickel.
was just about to ask you, though, what is that transition like? Because that's something I'm a little bit worried about, right? He went from outside looking awesome. Nickel's a different animal, man. Multiple directions on the cut. You got to fit runs. You got to be in the coverage shell a little bit more. Like, what's that transition like?
Well, I think it's going to be good for him because he feels comfortable there. He feels comfortable playing the run. He showed you last year I can play the run from the outside, I can play the run from the inside. Like, his route recognition and his play recognition is going to let him to play a little bit faster than he did last year. And I think with him having that outside coverage last year, I think taking that into this year is going to give him a chance to be the best he can be.
Now, Logan, I love your perspective on these because you're coming in with that undrafted free agent mentality. And somebody on your list is actually an undrafted free agent on this defense. Talk about him a little bit.
Well, it's easy for me, man. You know what? I'm a simple man. You know, like in the combine, draft, I like freak athletes. And my man right here is about as freaky as an athlete as you could possibly be, right? 33-inch arms, he's 6'4", he broke every single jump record at the combine. He plays like a maniac on teams. You see the physicality, you see the athleticism, you see the urgency. Now, we've all played with guys like that.
We
They're
have.
absolute dogs on teams. How do you take the next step going from a special teams ace to a guy that contributes on defense? Can you handle it mentally? Can they find your role? You talked about the same thing with Dominique Hampton. I see it very similarly for Tyler Owens.
And fellas, it's not just defenders on this wall, too. We also have some offensive players. Tanner, what offensive guy are you looking to take a step?
None other than this guy right here, Luke McCaffrey. I can't talk enough about the pedigree, you know, just from his dad, just from his brother. But when you hear the coaches talking about his football IQ, you also hear him talking about him playing every position at the wide receiver position. Also, this offseason, the guy got in the weight room.
His body looks different,
He got
right?
in the weight room. So just to see some of the things that I wasn't anticipating last year, him do well, knowing that now he's coming into that second year, I'm looking for this guy to have a huge step because he already knows. He knows how to eat. He knows how to sleep. He knows how to prepare for this game. He's seen it done at a high level from his dad. He's seen it done at a high level from his brother. Now it's his time.
But like, how hard is it for him to learn how to play the receiver position? You know, because that I think is the issue. He played quarterback. Now he's playing receiver.
Well,
Essentially,
one of the things I found at a very young age that most quarterbacks are great receivers. I had my high school quarterback come to the University of Miami with me, was a great receiver. A guy named Tony Martin, I watched grow up in Miami. He was a great receiver for a long time. So those guys touch the ball so much in their years of playing quarterback.
And they read the defenses.
And they know what it looks like from a quarterback perspective when they're watching this defense. As a receiver, it's easy for them. It's like stealing candy from a baby. They can go out there and be those kind of dynamic, athletic guys and just get open and be one of those guys, a reliable target for a guy like J.D.
You have to play with a guy like Antoine Randall Ellis. The same type skill set, so you guys understand that. Now we talk about adding that size, being in that weight room. Logan's guy. Big man BC right here. He was barely always at lunch.
Pass set going. I love it, man. I think we talked about this, man. I always thought of him as more of a guard. Now, he did a great job at tackle.
He did.
Great athlete, but I always think, man, he could be special at guard. I think about Sam Cosmi, how his move really elevated his play. I see a similar trajectory. Now, he's got to work at it. He's got to grind. It's the same thing, moving from outside corner to inside corner. It's going to be tough, but, man, I think it could be special for this offensive line.
Man, so many special things happening, especially with some of these guys going into year two. And, of course, fellas, we killed it in the free agency. Let's take a look back on how good AP and company really did.
Deebo Samuel has been traded to the Washington Commanders.
Deebo Samuel is headed to Washington.
A blockbuster trade. The Texans finalizing a trade of five-time Pro Bowler Laramie Tunsil to the Commanders.
Mountain space, he is a tough guy to tackle. It should be an exciting offense that just continues to trend up.
I love it for Washington.
You like what Adam Peters, the general manager, is doing.
And the Commanders are better today.
What a free agency we had here at the Burgundy and Gold, especially getting a guy like Laramie Tunsil, a big name guy who just earned his spot on the NFL's top 100 at number 86. Now, I feel like that's a little low, but maybe he'll be able to get that up playing with Jayden Daniels. Fellas, we are talking about chemistry, and when you talk about chemistry, first thing I think about is that offensive line, especially when you add a guy in like Laramie Tunsil. Logan, how do they help with the development of this offensive line? Some of these free agents that we've been able to bring in.
Yeah, man, I think it's a really complicated thing. I mean, it's like any position, really, but like I've seen it done a bunch of different ways. Like I remember Bill Callahan used to just absolutely grind those guys into dust. They'd all hate him so much, and that would galvanize the group. You know what I'm saying? Like, we hate this dude so much that we're all gonna be friends, right? There's other ways to do it where guys are over-prepared. They give you every little bit of information. You draft guys that are similar, like-minded personalities, and that galvanizes that group. So I do think with that group specifically, it's so hard to develop. Probably maybe similar to DB.
Yeah.
Like getting 5 guys to see it exactly the same way is really challenging. There's a million ways to do it, but the coaches have a lot of responsibility in that.
And I always say the offensive line is like a boy band. I like to say that, and I left a group out last time I brought it out. I cannot wait to see Coleman and Connolly go from boys to men. Because when you're on that offensive line, that transition of working in sync with your partner and understanding how to get that done is a different thing. I see you laugh. No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
So you want our new addition to be a boy?
To go from boys to men. And one thing I love about this boy group that we got here is all you guys got to Washington in different ways. So, Fred, I'm going to start with you because you're so damn crazy. You were drafted here, man. What was it like coming here, building chemistry with a bunch of Hall of Famers?
Well, here go think about it. When I first got here, it was the old folks home of Ashburn. I had Darryl Green, I had Bruce Smith, I had all of these Hall of Famers in here. So I was just trying to ingratiate myself with them. I was just trying to be a part of the group. And it's different when you're young and you're a rookie. Because when you're a rookie, everything you do is to prove yourself to your teammate. So I had a different view. But when I did go free agent to Minnesota and I had to be a grown guy and walk into a different locker room, now I need to just be one of the guys. I just need to be one of the guys. I need to just fit in and not fit out. And that's what I was trying to do.
Tanner, as a free agent, when you came here, was that kind of the same vibe you were doing? Were you just trying to fit in, or were you trying to stand out?
I was thinking one of the best ways to kind of get known or get seen or be respected is by going out there making plays. And I think that's what I did. I took under consideration of knowing how I entered to, as a Jet, having that setback my first year out the gate, being injured, not being able to play preseason, not being able to play until week 12. I wasn't one of the guys. They didn't respect me. They saw that, he was just one of our first-round picks. So I felt like crap walking around that building because I didn't get a chance to go out there and prove to them who I were. Fast forward, when I got here, they just paid me to come here. You know what I mean? So now I got to be that rookie all over again. So what I told myself is I'm going to do any and everything that I didn't do as a rookie over there in New York, I'm going to do it here. And I think once I stepped on the field and they saw initially out the gate how I was going to come, they respected me, they opened up, they embraced me, and then before you know it, I was one of the guys.
My boy earned his keep, and somebody we know always earns his keep. Logan Paulson. Now, again, you're coming in as an undrafted free agent, which means you're not getting as many reps as the guys. You're not touching the ball as much as everybody else. So, man, it had to be really tough to build that chemistry. Crazy, dog.
I mean, it's true, though. Like, I'm stressing out, man. Because for me, every day is an audition, right? It's not like, Fred's like, I got to fit in. I got to one of the guys. I'm like, hell no. I got to win this rep today, man.
Bring you into the house to shoot nice, and you like, I gotta get my
I'm like, Fred's trying to sabotage me, man. People invite me out for drinks. I'm like, no, sir, I'm going to bed. I'm going to go study the playbook. That's how it was. So for me, it was just carving that path, man, finding that way, and winning the job.
No doubt.
Fellas, we will be seeing a lot of guys out here trying to win a job during training camp. Let's take a look at some of our training camp schedule. Now, we will be live. That's right, Command Center will be live from Ashburn at Commanders Training Camp. We'll be live on Wednesday, July 23rd. We'll be live Sunday, July 27th. Oh, and guess what? We're going to be live in August too, the 4th and the 11th. Both of those are on Monday. You can catch us, me and these great legends, on the Commanders YouTube, Facebook, or X. Now, it was fun watching Mikey and Quan get after it on that field. Let's check out some of those best moments. That got me hyped. I cannot wait to see what these guys do in 2025. Now, it's time for your winning numbers presented by Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. Now, let's take a look back at some of those defensive difference makers from last season. We all fell in love with Frankie Louisville and Bobby Wagner, who decided to sign with us last year and decided to run it back this year. Then, of course, we got Quan Martin. We have the rookie Mikey Sanders still. Then the big man in the middle, Deron Payne. Now, there's some heavy hitters on this graphic right now, but we also have some ex-heavy hitters in the building. That's right. We got some Command Center defensive legends ready to join us. For the first time ever, we're welcoming in two legends calling into the show. That's right, future Hall of Famer London Fletcher and Fred's best friend. Sean Springs Island is in the building. Welcome, fellas. Y'all look good up there, man.
Appreciate it. Hey, I got a question. Smooth, how does it feel to be the least athletic former player up here?
Well, here's the thing about it, even though Sean got took number 3 in the draft, I'm more athletic than he ever was, all right?
Fellas, listen, we can have this debate all day long.
I'm not talking to a guy. A linebacker has more picks than you, bro. What are we talking about, man?
Hey, stop it, Sean. London played 29 years in the NFL.
Don't matter. It doesn't matter, Fred. I got more picks than you.
Fellas, it's great to have y'all. Clearly, we got the best crew in the world. Let's get right to it, though, because Joe Witt Jr. will be going into his second season at the helm at defensive coordinator. We saw what he did year 1. Sean, when you're going into year 2 as a defensive coordinator, because you have dealt with this before, how important is it to find that comfortability that he found in year 1?
Well, I think year 1, you just learning the players. Everyone in the organization was new to some of the guys that he had. And you had some rookies like Mike Sinistrell and Joe Witt. He's one of those guys where he demands a lot, and you got to know his system. But year 2, you know the players, you know what the capabilities are, you know what they can do. They understand how you communicate and what you expect. Now you can add more. You can look at what didn't work last year and kind of throw that out. And then you can look at the things like, you know what, maybe we can put a little more pressure on these guys, add a little more things. I'm going to adjust the personnel because I know Mike can play inside and outside, and Lattimore is healthy now, so I can play a little more man, and Trey Amos is new. So what happens is he just gets more comfortable with the guys he have and put more expectation on them.
London, I got to ask you this. We had a lot of defensive additions on this team, but I want to talk about the guys in the back end. I want to talk about the Will Harrises of the world, the Jonathan Jones of the world, the Trey Amos of the world. What do you think they bring to the table when it comes to that defensive backfield and what we got on the back end?
Yeah, I think those 3 guys that you mentioned, and then coupled with the fact of the guys we got coming back with Mikey Sainristil and also Quan Martin and Marshawn Lattimore. Hopefully he'll be healthier this season. But those guys bring versatility to the defensive backfield. You mentioned Will Harris. He's a guy that can play strong safety. He can play the nickel linebacker, so to speak. He's a guy you can bring into the box if you want to play big nickel. Adding a Trey Amos, that allows maybe Mikey to play inside. Yeah. Now, put him in a more comfortable position. He's a guy adding size to that outside corner position. I think one of the more underrated signings, though, is Jonathan Jones, former New England Patriots. He's a guy who has versatility. He's played a lot of snaps outside. He's also played a lot of snaps lining up inside cover and slot receivers. So if there's a situation where, let's say, we have injuries, you have guys who can go inside, who can go outside. If Marshawn Lattimore is dealing with some health issues as well, if you want to have Sanders in the slot, you can have Jonathan Jones play outside or vice versa. So it adds more versatility to the group when you added those 3 guys.
Fellas, always great to have y'all on the show. Now, I don't know if you believe me when I tell you this, but Fred Smoot missed y'all a little bit. Do y'all believe that?
I do. He
missed y'all a little bit.
I do miss y'all.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
London, you shouldn't doubt it.
When you have a friend like Fred, why you need a hater, man? Fred just want to talk trash about us, man. He pick on me all the time.
Fred, I definitely know that Fred didn't want me and Bluefoot on the show with him, because when we come, we gonna take the spotlight from him, man. That's just what we do.
Well, even when y'all aren't in the building, Fred wants to share the spotlight with y'all, especially you, London Fletcher. Yeah. Last week, Fred did a name drop about the captain on Command Center. Let's check it out.
El Capitan. Man, let's be honest. Keep your own. El Capitan, Mr. Yellow Jacket.
Just keep going.
I'm just saying, I'm going to play forever. I'm never going to quit
100
football.
tackles a year.
This guy walks on the field and it's 110 tackles, easy, and he does it with this quiet demeanor. Yeah. And that's why I have to say I respect him, because he's very much like London in that way. Mm-hmm. Quiet demeanor. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you, and just follow me to the promised land. The only difference between the two of them is London never took us to the promised land.
Oh, gosh.
It's
all love at the end of the day.
Fred, Bobby got a little bit more talent to work with around him than I have with you.
Stop. Don't you do that. Don't you do that.
Shout out to Sean and London for joining us. They'll be live next week for training camp. Now, let's hear from our QB1, Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels is such a revelation.
Let's go! in comes a kid leading the Why Not Us Washington Commanders in a way we have never seen a team led by a rookie quarterback.
Nice moves, Daniels escapes. That's a first down. He shows toughness, and he's like a key card guy. First guy in the building, last guy out of the building. Davis lobs it up towards McClure, and he's open over his shoulder. Touchdown! Jayden Daniels, end zone. Caught for the touchdown. He just continues to complete footballs, man. This kid has been on fire. Touchdown! Touchdown, Washington! Gets to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown! End zone, and it's caught for a touchdown by McClure.
Come on, man. I do this, man. And what a rookie year he had. Let's take a look at some of those numbers. In 17 games played, he threw for over 3,500 yards, rushed for 891 yards, and had a total of 31 touchdowns. What a year for JD5, and I have no doubt he's going to do even better in year 2. Those numbers are crazy, and what a rookie year Jayden Daniels had. Now, Logan Paulson and the fellas in the film room right now to break down some of those best plays from that historic rookie season. Fellas, it's all y'all. It's time for Best Seat in the House, presented by SeatGeek. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Brian, thanks so much, man. And we're talking about going into 2025, what this team looks like. And to me, Tana, there's nobody more important than talking about this guy right here. Is there? We got to talk about him. And the one thing that's cool when you go back and watch every single one of his throws is you see him get better every single week. And so we're going to start with, to me, the play. And everybody is probably familiar with this play, right? Yep. Terry McLaurin down here at the bottom. Everyone knows it. 3rd and 7, unblocked rush to the quarterback.
Coming out party.
And Fred, you talked about this, right? Look when he puts the ball in the air here, right?
Like the anticipation on this throw, him understanding the clock is up, but guess what? I'm throwing to a spot. No, I'm not throwing to a person. Terry is on the 17-yard line when this ball is released, and look at the touch on this ball. It looked like an angel about to come out of heaven and catch this ball. Like it was meant to happen right there. Like that's a throw of a 5-year quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
And it's incredible. And this is a really tough throw, but I think the important thing to remember, too, is it's one-on-one, right? Yeah. You're not having to read a defense. And so early on in the season, you saw a lot of this, right? A lot of one-on-one throws, right? We go ahead, this is against Philly. Kind of saying, and this throw is maybe more impressive, right? You get an unblocked rusher off the edge. Terry does a great job running here. They kind of beat quarter coverage, Fred, with a lot of stuff you're talking about, that air on the ball. But again, it's the same type of throw. One-on-one, outside the numbers, I can really see it well. Now, this is still impressive. I couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. A lot of quarterbacks in the league can't do it. But this is what makes him special. This ball is out.
But listen, he's standing there. Like, watch him standing here. He knows he's about to get hit. Like, this is understanding that to get this pass off, I got to take a hit to do that. He takes the hit to do that. A lot of quarterbacks don't do that.
He threw that ball when Terry was at 10 yards, and Terry quartered at least 30-some yards down the field in the end zone.
And it just shows how special he is. But the other thing I love about this is you see him evolve as a thrower, right? You see him kind of layer in throws. And so one of the things that's hard to do is throws over the middle of the field, right? Right over the middle of the field, like kind of that linebacker level, right? And what I see here, right, is a guy that's making that step. We're going to run a little high cross here. Boom, right across the middle of the field, right there. And we see Noah Brown catching this football right here, right?
Yeah, right here,
Look
right
at this linebacker, right?
Yeah.
That to me looks covered, but that's him understanding, Tanner, like, hey, this linebacker's body posture means he's open.
And it's understanding leverage as well. He knows, like, if my man is running up in this angle, the only way that backer could stop him is getting in front of him. So let me throw a back shoulder that slow my guy down because he can see the ball and the other guy can't.
And as a DB, we always taught that the quarterback is going to throw to the helmet of the defensive player. And he understands that if I see that player's name, that means that player don't see me throwing the ball. Like I said, that's the mind of a veteran right there.
And we remember this one too, right? This touchdown, right? Middle of the field's wide open here. And again, everyone can see it and it does a great job of understanding the coverage, right? Understanding that I've got a concept over here, hold this, I'm going to find the open man in Jamison Crowder, and it's a lot of the same stuff. A throw over the middle of the field, understanding the defender's body language and where the space is based on concept. I mean, that's big time stuff, man.
Bring that back a little bit. Right here, he understands that this linebacker right here is opening up this way for him to stop this pass. If he don't turn around and run with him this way, I'm going to beat him.
Can't do it.
Yes.
And again, the anticipation's super high, seeing this stuff. And so that's all. Like, the throws are getting better, more diverse. They're always tough, especially those deep balls. But seeing the throws over the middle field, that's big time stuff. Now, in the playoff game against Detroit, man, I thought we saw something special, right? We got man-to-man coverage over here, right? How do I know that? Because on the motion, who's moving, Fred?
Yep, like the guy's following him. The safety's going to undress the defense.
So now as a quarterback, I'm kind of saying to myself, who's at the party, right?
Yeah.
So we're probably going to get some type of pressure here, right? Because no one's moving here. He's going to rush the back.
Nobody's.
Look at the safety over here. He's really deep, right?
Yeah.
He's pushing out the screen because Terry McLaurin's in here at the bottom. So I understand it's man coverage. I got an in-breaking route. I'm going to hit De'Ami going across the field. And people say, wow, this safety played this really poorly.
Yeah.
And I say, that's not true.
No, it's not true.
Because what I look at is I say, Terry McLaurin's over there, but Jayden Daniels does a good job of making his own luck. Watch. Stripe checks the motion.
Yep.
I know right now it's man coverage. I'm coming back over here. Let me check the safety.
Watch the safety.
Watch. I'm going to look over here. I'm going to look to my left.
And the safety drift.
Look at the left. He's pushing the safety.
He's
come back to the guy across the middle of the field.
Yeah.
That's big time stuff.
He's opening that window up because he's holding them with his eyes. Like, I'm coming here. No, I'm not. I'm coming here.
Absolutely. So what's he doing on this snap? He knows he's picked up, right? We're picked up here to the front side of the play.
We
right?
clean here.
I understand who I got to manipulate, which is the post safety, and where the ball should go.
Yes.
That is
that's next level.
Chestnut checkers, right? In terms of what we're doing there, right?
Yeah.
So in this game, like this is him in one of the biggest games of the year, taking that next step, which you love to see. And again, it wasn't one play; it's a ton of plays, right? So here we got the same thing. It's I think this is 3rd and 10, if I remember correctly. We're going to run attack. Tanny, remember attack? Do you remember? We got to stop over the ball.
Stop over the ball.
Pitch here, and come back right here.
Yeah.
And so what? Zach thinks he's hot. Look at Zach. He's looking for the ball.
Now.
We're blitzing here.
Yeah.
Who knows we're not hot?
Yeah.
Jayden Daniels.
Yes.
Right? So that's no one protection. That's the first step, right?
Yeah.
We're picked up. I can be patient, right? They take away the first read, which is right over the ball. Now we're kind of isolating this hook player here. Watch him. He says here, look at his eyes. He checks Zach. This guy, Branch, squeezes to Zach. Crowder does a great job pushing out on this.
Yes.
And look at the ball, man.
Couldn't be in a better place. That's why I call him the ultimate force multiplier.
Yeah.
It don't matter who's lining up at wide receiver. I'm going to mentally put you in position to make plays.
And he's doing this all in a fraction of a second.
Yes.
Yep.
And so to think about where he was, just throwing goes, and they were great throws, right? To throwing balls over the middle field, to now saying, hey, I'm not hot here. I know where I can go. I know how much time I have. And look, it's all happening in real time. Look at eyes on Zach. It's not there. Ball across the field. That's big time stuff, man.
And he's throwing it on the line.
Yeah.
That ball is on the line.
And if he can continue to get better, man, that's a scary proposition
For the NFL.
I cannot wait.
Like I say, that's year 1.
Cannot wait for year 2 of Jayden Daniels.
Shout out to the guys in the film room for always breaking it down. Let's take a look at the numbers for Daniels and this Commanders offense this past season. And you could tell by those numbers, those boys put in work, and we got to imagine that same work's getting put in 2025. Now, when you have a QB like JD5, you need an announcer that's just as talented in that booth to illustrate these major moments. And luckily, we've got just that in Bram Weinstein. Let's hear from him on our QB1.
What I'm looking forward to most with Jayden Daniels in year 2 starts with the acquisitions that happened in the offseason. Laramie Tunsil, namely on the offensive line, who gave up very few pressures, was among the top 5 at left tackle. And of course, Deebo Samuel as wide receiver 2 and someone that they're going to be able to move around in the offense. What I'm hoping for Jayden Daniels is that he uses his legs less this year than he did a year ago. And these acquisitions point to a direction where he'll be more of a pass-first quarterback. So think about this a year ago. He was middle of the pack in passing yardage, but his attempts were somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 100 below most of the passers below him. So if you just extrapolate those numbers and think that he throws the ball within an attempts number that is closer to the league leaders, he would average 7 to 10 more attempts per year. If he stays on his completion percentage of 70%, he would complete about 7 of them. At his normal average yardage at 7, at almost 50 yards per game, he would end up with a season, if he had the same stats from a year ago, that would be upwards of around 4,400 passing yards, which would be the second most in Commanders history. And he probably would surpass a number that hasn't been reached since 1967, 30 plus passing touchdowns. Last time it was done, 31 by Sonny Jurgensen in 1967. What I'm hoping for out of this offense, because we know what Jayden can do with his legs, is that ultimately he's going to be able to throw the ball more effectively and have a more pass-first offense when necessary. And I think you're going to see some numbers that will put him in conversations for the MVP if that were to happen.
Looking forward to Daniels and crew running it back in the burgundy and gold for season number 2. Now Daniels and the Commanders will finally be back on that field for the first time this preseason on August 8th against the New England Patriots. You can catch that game on WUSA 9 or tune into Big 100 with Bram, Logan, and London live during the game. And I think all of us can't wait to see Deebo Samuels in that burgundy and gold on the field for the very first time. Let's run it back to day one when he signed and brought his talents here to Washington.
Come deep. Who? Deebo. San Francisco 49ers star receiver Deebo Samuel has been traded to the Washington Commanders.
He fights for every single blade of grass, no matter what the circumstance of the game is.
Damn!
Uh-oh, Deebo Samuel, one man to beat. He's going to beat racing to the end zone, and he does! Deebo Samuel through traffic. Very quick throw, what a catch. Samuel stays upright. One-on-one with Ramsey. Can't bring him down.
He is a big-time weapon for Cliff Kingsbury, for Jayden Daniels. Deebo Samuel lands in Washington.
Welcome back into Command Center. Now we are taking a look at some of our newest additions.
The Thunderbolts.
At wide receiver. Tanner calls of the Thunderbolts. You see Deebo Samuel Sr., Michael Gallup ended his retirement to pull up. Then, of course, our rookie, Jaylen Lane. Now, Tanner, this is all about you. We're going to let the guys chime in, but I'm going straight to you, brother. When you look at these newest additions, man, what do you think you get out of them? Because remember, there was games where Jayden Daniels connected with 9, 10 different receivers. Now, he has even more weapons.
I think when you look at these three guys, I mean, these guys are tailor-made for what Cliff does offensively. I think you got a guy in Deebo who's very versatile. He's a guy that's going to probably create mismatches, and he's also going to take a lot of pressure off of other guys when he's on the field, and that's what stands out about him. But other than that, when you put the ball in his hand, he's just one of those guys. He's a dynamic game changer, playmaker. And then you go to a guy in Gallup, not sure how his role is going to pan out, but he's to me like one of those insurance policies as a veteran right now. He's a guy that has knowledge of the game. He's a guy, if he's on the field, he's going to make sure he comes down with the football. So rest assured, if Jayden's coming to him, he's bringing that football in. And then you got a young guy like Lane, man. I think Lane's just so super explosive. He's a guy that also can be one of those guys like a Deebo when he did things in college with those, what you call those those reverses,
quick play, anything
all
about
the different things that you see a Deebo do, he can do the same thing, coming in motion, doing certain things like that. And they also talk highly of him about how he took on the training camp. I mean, not the training camp, the off-season workouts in the slot. So I think those guys are very.
I think he's a faster version of Deebo.
No doubt.
Like
no doubt.
They built the same. Yards after the catch, they yak dogs. I think he's a faster, younger version of Deebo. And one thing that I really take pride when I studied Jaylen Lane a little bit is, even with that bad quarterback that he had at Virginia Tech, he never got down, he never said a word, and he just kept his head going forward. So that tells me a lot about his character and what he's going to bring to the return game. He's a fearless punt returner. He will catch that in a pile of ants. He doesn't care. So I think he's going to be dynamic when it comes to that.
Pile of ants, huh?
Yeah. Why not?
Never heard that before. But I was going to say, Tanner, is like you return kicks, right, obviously, and you played slot receiver. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw a young receiver come in and do both at a high level right away. And we're kind of putting all this on him. He'll be the returner, he'll be the slot guy. How much of a responsibility is it returning kicks and also learning that slot spot for an offense? Because I think we kind of chalk it up, it's very similar, not that much, but it's a lot of responsibility for the team.
Definitely a lot of responsibility, and I can say this, I can attest to it, just when you're a punt returner, and when you know your plays on offense are going to be limited, you get yourself oiled up to go out there and catch those punts. And after a punt or two, you can put me anywhere on the field because now I'm ready to go. I can play football. You can put me in quarterback if you want to, because you don't understand what it's like dodging guys that's running downfield that has nobody in front of them to really block for you. It's you and those guys in the ball. Speed. You know what I mean? So when you're a punt returner, man, you can do anything, and I think that's going to get him, that confidence that he's going to need to be able to translate that to the offensive side of the ball.
And fellas, again, we have training camp just around the corner. When you look at this receiver room, Logan, I'm gonna start with you because you're always in the film room. Who are you looking at to stand out most in training camp in these new receivers?
I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting room all of a sudden. I think, again, I think there's a lot of optimism, but there's also, what's going on with Noah Brown? Like, who's going to be the number 2 receiver? Because Deebo is a true weapon offensively, but he's not a true 2 receiver. I think of it as more of like a move piece, chess piece, gives you matchups.
He's an alert piece.
So who's going to be that guy? So to me, that's a huge question because Noah Brown looked great in the offseason, right? And Jalen Lane's not really that guy, right? So, and Michael Gallup's coming off of a year off. And we all know how hard that is with the injury. So to me, that's the thing I'm looking at is saying, how do you kind of offset not having that guy with that true 2 body type, and do you do it by committee like you did last year? And I think everyone was hoping you'd be out of that. But that's something for training camp. I'm like, how does this story resolve itself?
Well, I think everybody's forgetting about Luke McCaffrey at the end of the day. You can't forget about last year's draft pick because we got this year's draft picks.
We're not forgetting about it. We talked about it earlier, but I'm saying like that's a big responsibility to go from your 4 to your 2.
I understand, but that's how you graduate high school. I got to go from 9th grade to 12th grade. Like, I got to take steps.
Not in 1 year, bro.
Not in 1 year. You wrote the short
4 years, man. Sometimes people skip grades, okay?
Well, listen, you was in 9th grade and 12th grade in the same class.
The same year?
Well, fellas, listen, there's no better place to grow from 9th to 12th grade or as a receiver in a receiver room than at Washington. Because let me tell you, when you walk around these halls, you see some big names and some big legends that play receiver for the Burgundy and Gold.
No doubt.
It's time for Top 5, presented by UA Local 5 Plumbers, protecting the health of the nation's capital since 1890. Now, here's a look at our top 5 wide receivers based on receiving yards. A couple of all-time greats on this list, including my guy, Mr. 8 to the 9, Santana Moss. Man, that is some great company to be in, and we gotta imagine we have some young guys on the squad that want to enter these ranks. Fellas, y'all love to compete. Since last time me and Tanner dusted y'all get to work together. In Jenga, yeah, you lost in Jenga. All right, now we're gonna play.
He almost made you think he won.
You were like, I was like, wait, did I lose? Now, guess the Washington Legend is a game we're gonna play here. Now, we are going to put up stats from just the player's time in Washington. This is only receiving stats. And if the player played, like if it's London Fletcher and he played for Buffalo, that wouldn't be included. Just the Washington stats. So we're going to pull somebody up. This is our first guy. Y'all get to guess just based off of the information given to y'all. Receptions, yards, and touchdowns.
I thought for sure Chris Cooley, and then you went on this big diatribe about, it's only for Commanders, only for Washington.
I had to make sure I was, you know.
So now I'm like,
I'm thinking that's me.
I'm thinking it's him.
I mean, look
I'm
at this
thinking it's me because I know my total, and so I'm like, I play more years here, and all that stuff adds up to about a 10-year career.
So the final answer is Santana Moss. Let's see it.
Boom! Talk about right there.
Great job.
Great job. Tanner know his stats. We know his stats. Next one, fellas. Next one. Now, based off of these stats right here, again, it is just Washington.
Art Monk.
Who is this player?
Art Monk.
Who's the leading receiver? Is he the
Art
leading
Monk.
receiver?
Art.
No, because Art Monk had the same amount of touchdowns I have. So that's not Art Monk.
Gary Clark?
I feel like it's Arthur Monk or Gary Clark.
Me and Art both got 66 touchdowns.
For the final answer?
Gary.
Charlie Taylor.
Charlie Taylor.
That stance is like, oh man.
This thing right there.
I should have known that stance told me that's in the 50s.
We got 2 more left, fellas.
Now that's Art Monk. Because he played his last 2 years.
He against Art Monk every time.
No, he played his last 2 years with the Jets. That's how he went over
He played 1 year with the Jets and 1 year with the Eagles.
So that's Art Monk.
Them gotta be Art.
All right, final answer, Art Monk.
He's got a normal face mask.
Boom, wrong.
Gary Clark. Oh my God.
Fred, you got another chance to be wrong, my brother, because we got one more left.
I should have let you.
That's what I'm saying.
Art Monk.
This is what
that's Art Monk. Yeah, and then the 65 touchdowns.
This is crazy. The last one is.
Oh my God.
Art Monk. Y'all did pretty good. Tanner knows his stuff. Fred don't know nothing. And speaking of Art Monk, one of the greatest to ever do it is getting honored by having his jersey retired.
The quiet one himself.
How you doing? Great seeing you. Appreciate you having us today. So far.
What the?
What's going on, my brother? Art, for everything you've done, not just for this team, but for all of us who had the honor to play alongside you. This is a moment that's been a long time coming. You showed us what greatness looked like every single day in your work ethic and your humility and how you carried this franchise with dignity. And today, we get to do what should have been done a long time ago. We get to honor you and tell you on behalf of your brothers, this organization, and the entire Commanders Redskin family that your jersey will be retired. Number 81 will forever belong to you. You earned this. We love you, brother. That's from Ricky, it's from me, and it's from all the people from the Burgundy and Gold family. You're a rock star, bro.
What a moment for one of the best to ever do it in the NFL. Now you can join us in celebrating Art Monk and this historic career and the retiring of the number 81 jersey on Sunday Night Football against the Seahawks. That's Week 9, November 2nd, against the Seahawks. You'll be able to see him get honored on prime time. Now, I had a chance to sit down with Art Monk on the Next Man Up podcast and talk all about what this moment means for him and his legacy. Check it out. This is your can't miss moment presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders. I think it's really cool that you were so good for so long. You got to be part of like two infamous groups, right? You had the Posse, and then you had the Fun Bunch. So I got to ask, as like a fan, what was the difference between the two? And what was that like being part of those groups, man? Because those are some dogs in both groups.
Well, it was a lot of fun. I tell you what, practice, no matter where we were, what we did, it was just a lot of fun. We laughed all the time. And but we also took our job seriously. But during the off season, you know, we just enjoyed being around each other. We fed off of each other. We challenged each other. We helped make each other what we ended up becoming. And, you know, so I owe a lot down, like especially with Charlie Brown, Alvin Garrett, Virgil C., you know, in the earlier days, and then Gary Clark came on, and then Ricky Sanders, even Calvin Muhammad came in from the Raiders, I believe it was at the time. Man, it was just, we fed off of each other. We challenged each other, like I said, and just, if it wasn't for that, then I don't know if I would have been what I became.
It's not every day you get to talk to one of the best to ever do it. And it's even more rare for him to be so humble. Shout out to Art Monk. You can catch our full interview on the Next Man Up podcast. Now, here's a look at the numbers from the legend. Like I said, one of the best to ever do it, and the numbers say that. Yes, he won 3 Super Bowl champions with 3 different quarterbacks. Over 12,700 yards, 940 receptions, and you see that number, 68 touchdowns. What a career for one of the best to ever do it in the NFL. Now it's time to welcome in another great and one of his best friends, a member of the Posse, Mr. Gary Clark. And Commanders family, we called it a special, and you can't have a special without one of the greatest to ever do it. You see him in the building, looking clean with the shades.
Yeah.
Part of the Posse right here. The infamous Gary Clark is in the building. Welcome to the studio, brother. It's great to have you here, man.
Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Of
These
course.
two guys right here, rock
This is the
stars,
guy.
baby.
No, you are the guy.
And then you got the fashion goddess right there.
No one's ever said that to me.
It's on the front person.
Oh,
No, he can't dress.
He can't dress.
fashion goddess, man.
Gary, we got you in the building because, of course, we are celebrating one of your good friends, Art Monk.
Yeah.
You went and you were the one to pull up to his crib out in Orlando and let him know about the honor, man. How dope was that?
Yeah.
To be able to share that with him after everything y'all shared together on that field.
Oh man, it was incredible, quite honestly, because he was completely shocked, completely caught off guard.
Yeah.
He kind of looked at me and he was like,
What?
"Why are you here?" You had that moment, you know, and then everybody came out and he was surprised.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, long overdue, 100% long overdue.
Yeah.
I mean, he is definitely one of the best to ever do it in Burgundy Gold. And to know that position is a special position, and to be the one that right now everybody's chasing his record to break. You know, it's a historical moment for Art Monk to have.
Share something with us about just how was it playing with him? I mean, you know, we talk so much about, you know, just you.
Ricky Sanders, all y'all.
What was Art like as one of the like? Cause I know you, bro. You fiery.
Yeah.
Ricky's one of those guys. He cool.
Yeah.
What was Art like as a player, man?
The exact opposite of me. He was always very disciplined. Very disciplined. Went about his craft. He only spoke when he had something to say. If he had something to say, then he would speak. If he didn't have anything to say, Who's not going to speak.
Yeah. Wow.
But he was kind of like a little practical joker. He would do stuff, you know, like he loved the part where you put, you know, back in the day, you had to put the hot stuff on to keep it
on the jacket.
He put it in the jacket. He would just crack up laughing. Like just crack up laughing. And I'm like, that ain't funny. That ain't funny.
So he had a wicked sense of humor.
Yeah, I mean, he just, when you talk about a person who's about preparation, he was a preparation guy. Yeah. Always prepared for the game. Always make sure everybody is on point. Like you said, he was the senior spokesperson for us. At the end of the day, I was like, oh, how you gonna be the senior spokesperson? You never talk.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of times I had to take up that duty. And a lot of times I should have probably kept my mouth shut. Art's just a special kind of guy, I think, and that's why the fan base loved him. Yeah. When he went into the Hall of Fame, first of all, it took him forever to get into the Hall of Fame.
Because he was quiet. He wouldn't sell himself. That's why.
100%. 100%. He's, you know, only time he talked to the press after the game is if he had an off game, which is a rarity. Wow. Very rare did he have a game that he didn't participate and play well. But you got 40,000 people coming to see Art.
Yeah.
I mean, when they introduced Michael Irvin, the whole crowd, the crowd booed. You know, and me and Ricky just looked at each other like, you shouldn't be booing here. I mean, this is Michael Irvin. This is a ceremony, and he's a Hall of Famer. But Art is just a quality guy.
Yeah.
Fans love him. They always love him, and I can't wait to see 81.
Never will again. This is what I gotta ask you, Gary.
I'm gonna wear it just on purpose.
I know you are. I know you're gonna just wear 81 just to wear it. Let me ask you this: who gave y'all the name the Posse? Yeah. Like, did you make it up?
I did.
I feel say
we didn't make it up.
I thought you were gonna say I gave it to you. That's where the question was going. I was like, I gave you that nickname in Mississippi. I was like, no.
He was definitely saying something.
But it came after our Super Bowl 22 when we played Denver and they had the Three Amigos, and that was our nickname. So myself, Art, and Ricky came into, like, we kind of came in as a threesome that season at the end in the Super Bowl itself. So we said we got to come up with a nickname, and we had a posse formation. We was calling ourselves the Posse then, and it just kind of stuck after that.
That thing nice.
You know, it's a posse formation, which meant 3 wives.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you, because you described what Art Monk was like as a person, and on the podcast, the CC podcast, you came on and said, he was more of a Z receiver. Like, what made him a Hall of Fame player? There's certain guys you look at, like, you look at Randy Moss, you say, this is what it is, or what, and I'm like, this is before, like, I didn't watch a lot of Art Monk. I don't know what makes him. I know his stats and stuff, but like, what made him the dude that 40,000 people came and want to watch?
I mean, he could do it all. I mean, because he's a running back turn receiver. He was a running back in college.
He's a big guy, right?
Running back in college, turn receiver
I did not know that.
And then Ricky was a running back.
I know
in college
Ricky
too.
was.
Both guys. They didn't let me run the damn ball. But at the end of the day, I mean, what made Art special is he could do everything well. He could go deep, he could go mid-range, and that dodge route he made. I mean,
is it like a choice?
It's like a choice, exactly. Exactly. So I mean, he made that his thing. I mean, when I came to the team, the offense was built around Art. The passing game was built around Art.
Yeah.
It was Art's game. Every now and then I got a square in.
I was gonna say, was it hard for you to kind of fit in with him getting so much target volume?
I mean, it was good for me because Art was going to get doubled.
Yeah, and
then I was going to be single,
one-on-one.
and then you can't single me. That's just a waste of time.
Yeah,
spoken like a true receiver.
Yeah, he sounds like a receiver still.
But smooth like at least at the start of the play.
You remember that question I asked you, Art and Ricky, when we were sitting in the cafeteria like a year ago, and I said, "What happens if y'all three are versus me, Champ Bailey, Dale Green?"
That would be a great contest. It really would. It'd be like, I don't know.
But we would win, is what he's going to say.
Yeah, that's what he's going to say. I understand.
No, I'm not saying that we would win. I'm just saying we win big. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. That would be a great contest.
Most definitely.
Because you guys would truly shut down corners.
Yeah. And Gary, you can see the confidence there. And of course, you got to have confidence to be so great. But it was dope talking to Art Monk on the Next Man Up podcast and talking to you, because when I want to talk about y'all talked about your teammates. You talked about the Posse. Yeah. All Art Monk did was talk about you and Ricky Sanders and how y'all helped him get to this point. Yeah. After all these years, after all this time, that admiration and respect that y'all have for each other, man. How do y'all keep that going, and how special is that?
I used to pay Art a lot of money to say nice things. You know, he's expensive too. You know, he didn't take a $50 bill, he got me a $100 bill.
Small head money.
You know, exactly. But no, I mean, just mutual respect, because when you're so close, and you're in close, especially training camp. Training camp, at least back then in Carlisle, we was in close quarters. You're like, you're just around each other all the time. You couldn't help but to grow and bond one another. Now, once we found out we was going to be a unit after that Super Bowl 22, we knew that the offense was changing to be, because we was a run first, throw second team. After that, with throw first, run second team. Our running back still was going to get 1,000 yards, but I mean, you had a lot to deal with when you got 3 receivers who will get 1,000 yards too. That's a lot to deal with.
We appreciate y'all. Thank you for pulling up to the studio, man. Always great to have greatness in here, man. And again, thank y'all for so much for what you guys did.
I just want to let you guys know, listen, park your car. I parked your car.
I rode a horse to work.
It was okay.
No, you cut that out.
You know, so I'm just letting you guys know everything's good, and I do take tips.
That's it. We got you.
Shout out to the big bro, Gary Clark. And again, shout out to Art Monk. He will be honored on the same day we're rocking those Super Bowl era alternate jerseys.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot to have fun. And of course, next week we have a lot of fun as well. We have live training camp for the legend Gary Clark, for the legend Logan Paulson, for the legend Fred Smoot and Mr. 8 to the 9, and also a legend Santana Moss. I'm Brian Cole Jr. It's Command Center. See y'all next week.